The Now Habit, a strategic program for overcoming procrastination and enjoying guilt-free play by Fiore is a groundbreaking book aimed at helping individuals break free from the paralyzing cycle of procrastination and rediscover their joy and effectiveness in work and life. With a rich combination of psychological insights, practical advice, and actionable techniques, Fiore provides a roadmap for people looking to stop procrastinating and build lasting productivity habits. This book emphasizes that procrastination is not a matter of laziness but a psychological defense mechanism rooted in deeper fears and negative thought patterns, and the key to overcoming it is shifting one's mindset and creating a healthier relationship with work and leisure. Introduction: Understanding procrastination as a fear-based behavior. Fiore begins by reframing procrastination as a complex behavior driven by fear, avoidance, and negative self-perception. Unlike the common assumption that procrastinators are simply lazy or undisciplined, Fiore argues that procrastination is often a protective mechanism against the fear of failure, judgment, and perfectionism. It's also fueled by feelings of guilt, self-criticism, and deep-rooted anxiety about one's abilities and worth. This understanding helps the reader to see that procrastination is a coping strategy, not an inherent character flaw, and it can be addressed through psychological and behavioral strategies. The book's ultimate goal is to break the cycle of procrastination by helping readers create a new, healthier relationship with time, work, and self-worth. Fiore introduces the idea that overcoming procrastination isn't about trying to force yourself to work harder or more efficiently. Instead, it's about changing the mindset that holds procrastination in place. The Now Habit, a new way of thinking about time and productivity. The central concept in the book is the Now Habit, which represents a shift from guilt-laden, perfectionism-driven productivity methods to a more balanced, compassionate, and enjoyable approach to work. The Now Habit focuses on working with ease, engaging in tasks with less anxiety, and ultimately making work more enjoyable and rewarding. It encourages the reader to take small, consistent steps, rather than trying to achieve perfection from the start. The underlying idea is to stop seeing work as something that needs to be grinded out in long, uninterrupted blocks of time. Instead, the Now Habit allows people to break their tasks into manageable, enjoyable chunks of time, while also making space for guilt-free breaks and leisure. In doing so, it alleviates the stress, fear, and overwhelming pressure that often cause procrastination in the first place. The Unschedule, Reframing Time Management. One of the core techniques Fiore introduces is the Unschedule, a time management tool that helps combat procrastination by reversing traditional scheduling methods. In traditional time management, people schedule work tasks in an effort to get more done, believing that by allocating specific times to complete tasks, they can overcome procrastination. However, for procrastinators, this method often causes additional pressure, as it reinforces the idea that work must be accomplished in rigid, perfectionistic blocks of time. This adds anxiety to the process and perpetuates the cycle of avoidance. The Unschedule is a method that instead schedules all activities except for work, such as exercise, meals, social engagements, relaxation, and other forms of self-care. This technique is based on the idea that life must be balanced and enjoyable. By giving leisure and self-care priority, the individual is encouraged to experience life without the constant guilt of work-related pressure. Once leisure activities are scheduled, the remaining time can be used for work, but with the mindset that work will not dominate all aspects of life. What the Unschedule does is it shifts the focus away from feeling that one must work constantly. It helps alleviate the sense of being overwhelmed by work because the individual can see, day by day, how much time they've spent on non-work activities, and they have evidence that they can, in fact, enjoy life while still being productive. The 30-minute commitment, breaking the barrier of resistance. Another powerful tool introduced in the Now Habit is the 30-minute commitment technique. This strategy helps individuals overcome the initial resistance to starting a task, which is often the hardest part of work. Fiore argues that the main barrier to productivity is not the task itself but the feeling of being overwhelmed by the size of the task or the perfectionistic expectation attached to it. The 30-minute commitment suggests that rather than committing to an hour or more of work, an individual should commit to working for just 30 minutes. The key here is to lower the bar to a level that feels so manageable that resistance to starting is minimized. This approach is designed to help the individual focus on taking action, rather than getting caught up in the fear or anxiety of completing the entire task perfectly. Often, once the 30 minutes are up, the person finds they've gained momentum and are able to continue working. Even if they don't, they've still made progress, and the 30 minutes can be seen as a success. This technique reduces procrastination by focusing on small, achievable steps that don't feel daunting. Shifting focus from perfectionism to progress. A major psychological barrier to overcoming procrastination is perfectionism, the belief that anything less than flawless work is unacceptable. This mindset often leads to procrastination because the fear of not achieving perfection paralyzes action. Fiore addresses this issue by teaching readers to shift focus from perfection to progress. Rather than aiming for an ideal outcome, the goal becomes making progress, no matter how small. Fiore explains that perfectionism is a trap because it leads to the avoidance of work out of fear of failure. By focusing on small steps and celebrating progress, the individual shifts their attention from the result to the process, which helps overcome fear-based procrastination. Emphasizing progress helps reduce self-criticism and allows for a greater sense of accomplishment along the way. Self-compassion, the key to breaking the cycle of guilt and shame. Fiore also stresses the importance of self-compassion in overcoming procrastination. Many procrastinators are driven by feelings of guilt, shame, and negative self-talk. This inner critic keeps them stuck in a loop of avoidance and self-judgment. The key to breaking this cycle is treating oneself with kindness and understanding. Instead of feeling guilty about procrastination or beating oneself up for failing to meet expectations, Fiore encourages readers to adopt a compassionate inner voice. This approach allows for self-forgiveness and provides the emotional space to start working again without fear of failure. Practicing self-compassion helps alleviate the toxic self-judgment that often keeps procrastinators trapped in an endless cycle of avoidance. The role of positive reinforcement. Fiore underscores the critical role of positive reinforcement in overcoming procrastination. Rewarding oneself for completing even small tasks builds momentum and creates positive associations with work. The idea is to associate productivity with positive feelings, rather than guilt or anxiety. Fiore advises that rewards should be designed to be enjoyable and fulfilling. These could be small breaks, treats, or larger rewards like taking a day off once a big task is completed. By reinforcing the act of doing productive work with enjoyable experiences, the individual is more likely to repeat the behavior. Positive reinforcement also helps shift the focus from the discomfort or anxiety of work to the rewards and satisfaction that follow it. Visualization, using mental imagery to reduce anxiety and improve focus. Visualization is another technique Fiore recommends as part of overcoming procrastination. Visualizing success is a powerful way to reduce anxiety and to mentally prepare for a task. Instead of focusing on potential failure or the overwhelming nature of a task, Fiore encourages readers to visualize completing the task successfully. This mental imagery creates a sense of accomplishment before the task is even begun, which helps reduce resistance and builds self-confidence. Building a balanced lifestyle, work hard, play hard. A central theme in the Now Habit is the idea of balance. Fiore advocates for a holistic approach to productivity that integrates both work and leisure. He emphasizes that taking breaks and allowing oneself to enjoy life is not only okay, but essential for long-term productivity and well-being. By creating a lifestyle that values relaxation, social activities, hobbies, and downtime, Fiore encourages readers to live a more fulfilling and less stressful life. He argues that when individuals prioritize their well-being, they are more likely to be productive and engaged in their work. Conclusion: a new way of living and working. Fiore concludes by emphasizing that overcoming procrastination is not about achieving perfection or adhering to rigid time management schedules. It's about creating a new mindset, one where work is no longer feared, and the individual can engage in their tasks with a sense of ease, enjoyment, and self-compassion. By implementing the strategies outlined in the Now habit, such as the unschedule, the 30-minute commitment, shifting focus from perfectionism to progress, practicing self-compassion, and using positive reinforcement, individuals can break free from the cycle of procrastination and build habits that support a balanced, productive, and fulfilling life. The book is a comprehensive guide for those who wish to reduce stress, avoid burnout, and achieve lasting productivity.